with Larry Megan.
Well, good evening tonight. This is going to be a rough night, folks. As you can hear, I'm pretty hoarse, but we have a great scheduled guest tonight. There was no way I was going to back out. I've got a little case of laryngitis. So, Ronnie, am I coming across okay? All right, so bear with me here. I'm not really sick. It sounds like I'm sick, so you don't have to have any sympathy for me. I'm okay, but just nothing's coming out. Maybe by tomorrow I'll be fine. All right, guys. Tonight, a great episode of Chilling with Larry and Megan because, you know, to be honest, I've kind of let myself go, and my weight has gone up to an all-time high. I'm afraid to even say what it is, but I guess we're probably going to have to say what it is, and we will. I'll divulge it. It's a little embarrassing because, like I said, I really let myself go, guys. But I decided I wanted to try and lose some weight, and I know a few years ago I did the lemonade diet, which is a cleanse, and I lost like 50 pounds on that, and I've gained it all back. And then recently I was introduced to this fabulous lady. Her name is Heidi Nessa, and I don't know if technically you're a nutritionist, but that's what I call you, because she's really healthy, okay? And she sells this program called Isogenics. And, you know, when you're desperate, you know, it doesn't matter what it costs, you know, let's just do it. And so I started literally just 3 days ago, and on the first 2 days I lost 7 pounds. So you drink these protein shakes, and Heidi's going to tell us all about it. But before we get to Heidi, it looks like we got a nice crowd brewing out there, Ronnie. If you're new to Acorn TV, you know, please click on the Facebook button on the right-hand side of the page there, and do like our Facebook page. Help us to spread the word, okay? All right, now tonight, my guest, as I mentioned, I guess she just shook her head. She's not a nutritionist. Let's bring her in, Ronnie. It's Heidi Nessa.
Hey, Larry.
From Isogenics.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. And it's my lucky night that you're a little hoarse because I can talk all night. So
well, that's good. When you got here, Heidi,
psyched.
When you got here, I said, you know, you're gonna have to take over the show because I'm kind of hurting.
I can do it. And you look great. You say you're a great looking guy, and you say you're a little overweight. The voice adds to the mystique of it all. But yeah, we're gonna get you set up here with getting a little bit healthier, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight.
All right, great. Well, listen. Also, I want to encourage those that are watching the show right now. By all means, we want to get your calls. We want to get into, you know, have you talk to Heidi and everything else. So please do call. Now, you know, before we, well, you know what? Not yet. I have a little video. Actually, it's a long video.
Okay.
I pulled it off your website.
Okay.
And it's too long to show, but it's you and your partner. It's
Autumn.
Autumn, and we're gonna be bringing. We're gonna be bringing
yes,
Autumn.
We're bringing
in
Autumn in
by video Skype. She's in Waconia, right up the road, and when we bring her in, we'll show a little bit of that.
Okay, and let me explain first too, to preface this, like you do. We're not nutritionists, but we are cleanse coaches, and so we really coach people like yourself through this process of the cleanse, and we'll get more into that as well. But you can kind of see what we do.
Oh, okay, great. Well, you know, the cleanse thing, one of the things that attracted me to your program is when I heard it was a cleanse, because when I did the lemonade diet about 4 years ago, that is a cleanse.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And I really did enjoy it. I mean, I like it. It's difficult. It's not easy, but the whole idea of cleansing to get the stuff out, I've gone through that. Now, your cleanse is actually much easier.
It is. And the difference is it's a cellular level and blood cleanse. And so it's not an organ cleanse. And so a lot of the cleanses and people are afraid of the word cleanse, and I was too for a long time, because you just don't know what's going to happen to your body. So this is a very gentle way to really detoxify your body and take all those toxins out that we're taking in every day. So that's really, it's as simple as that. It's eating really great nutrition and detoxing once a week, which you haven't done yet. You're yet to cleanse. So he's yet to do the actual cleanse. You've been taking in the great nutrition and eating well. So that's the first part of it.
You get 2 shakes a day.
Yep. Yep.
And they're not bad. You mix the powder with the water.
They're great.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
they're pretty good. I went to Target and I bought the shaker bottle.
Yeah, that's a good.
I know you sell the shaker bottles.
No, but just go to Target. You can buy them. They're right by the hefty trash bags.
You know what?
Yeah.
They're not that cheap. That shaker bottle was like $9.
Oh, you must have gotten a nice one. Yeah, they're like $6.99
From
to find
you?
the right ones. No, in Target. But yeah, it's a flexible, so you can shake and go. Do your shake wherever you need to do it.
So, okay. Now, I know you brought we have a few pictures here of the different fat burning or whatever it is. But Ronnie, can we bring that up? What are we looking at here, Heidi?
Well, I love this graphic because it's so true. So you are what you eat, and in your body, and this is something, we're all learning as we go about our bodies and what perfect nutrition will do for us as we go along. So your cells regenerate on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. So as we age, our cells are just continuing to regenerate and reproduce themselves. So an unhealthy cell produces an unhealthy cell. So what we're doing is we're getting your cells healthy. And so this is really going to help in the aging process as well in the long run.
Well, you didn't really read to us what it said.
I didn't. Do you want me to read it?
I want you to
Every
read it.
35 days, your skin replaces itself. Your liver about a month. Your body makes these new cells from the food you eat, which literally becomes you. You have a choice in what you're made of. And I have a super quick story that I thought of tonight, as I have 2 boxer dogs, Layla and Annie, and they're high maintenance. Their boxers are known to be a breed that has a more they're really picky, not eaters, but in how they digest. So you really have to feed them really high quality food, which we do. Except we ran out 2 nights ago and I had to run to Target and bought cheap food. And those dogs being fed high quality food versus cheap food, they will sit there and drool and follow me around. It's like feeding them candy. And it occurred to me that I have to feed them more. They are messier outside, if you know what I mean. And they're craving it more. They're following me around for more. They want more of that cheap food. Yeah, it's really remarkable, the difference in their behavior when they're on the cheap food versus, the lower quality food, I should say, versus the higher quality food. And I think the same goes for all of us. The higher quality food we put in our body, the better we feel.
Well, I notice on the graphic it says cleanse with your friends. Mm-hmm. Now, explain that.
Well, in my history, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit later too, I am I guess I don't like to do things alone because everything I've ever done, I've pulled in people. And so the same thing happened here. I met Autumn and her and I cleansed together. And then it occurred to me that if I have other people that I know that want to cleanse, they may have friends that want to cleanse. And so it becomes a little bit more of a support system, which and it becomes so much easier to have people that involved in cleansing. Because it is, you said it's not difficult. It's not a difficult thing to do, except you do have your moments, and it's just nice to know that you've got some support out there.
Well, somewhere I posted, whether it was your Facebook page or your website, that I lost 4 pounds. Did I post it on your website?
We have a closed Facebook page for everyone who's cleansing with us.
That's where I posted.
I don't know. I think you might have posted on our main Facebook page, which is more of an informational, which is fine. We have a main Facebook page called Cleanse with Your Friends, which is more of an informational. And then we've got our website as well, called Cleanse with Your Friends. So that's where Autumn comes in. We have these cleanse groups that we put together. Every week or every other week we have a new group starting, or individuals start, like yourself, anytime you want. And so it's a great opportunity just to be in a group of people, even if you don't know that group of people.
Absolutely.
Makes a big difference.
Well, a few people actually responded and like, way to go, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Did they?
But I didn't. I posted the next day. I lost 4.2 the first day, or 4.1 and 3.2.
Just so everyone out there knows, that's not necessarily typical.
But I'm so overweight.
You're not so overweight, but you had.
I've got to lose 80 pounds.
Well, you had so that's a great start.
I really should lose 100 pounds.
No, you should not.
Yes, I used to be 180 pounds.
Well, that could be your goal.
Now I'm 280.
There you go.
I'll never get to 180 again, but I would like to see the other side of 200 one more time in my life.
Yeah.
I would like to see that thing, 199.
Yep. It's very achievable.
All right, we're going to get Autumn in here, but Ronnie, while we're getting her in here, before we do, or you go ahead and get that going, Ronnie. If we could just show a little bit of that video of Heidi and Autumn, where they're taking you through the kit.
Yeah, because this is what you get. We Autumn and I promote the 30-day cleanse. You can do it other ways too, but this is a really great way for people to get started. And so you get this huge box, and it's a little overwhelming. So we decided to make a little video, which is not professional at all, but it gives a lot of good
and
information.
I think the video quality is
really bad.
little fuzzy,
probably bad.
But you'll get the idea of what comes in the kit. We're not going to run the whole thing because it's like
that's
12
fine.
minutes.
Yeah, it goes
but just
on
to give
and
you
on.
an idea, it's pretty cool stuff.
No laughing.
Yeah, Ronnie, you got that ready? Yep. All right, let's go to it.
Hi, cleansers! Welcome to Isogenics. We're so glad you've made the decision to join us on this journey and be part of Cleanse with Friends.
We are here today to go over the 30-day fat burning and cleansing system with you. And this box will come via UPS about 4 business days after you order. You will get an email from Isogenics letting you know that the order did go through and that it will be shipped. And we're going to go over what's in this box so that you're not overwhelmed with all the products that you see when you open it. So the first thing that you're going to open and see is your welcome manual. There's a lot of great information in here. There's a CD you can listen to in the car. There is a place that has a spot for your weight, your measurements, and take a before and after photo. We would love if you would do a before and after. Even if it's not a lot of weight that you want to lose, you will definitely see the difference just in like your muscle definition.
So, in that box, there's a tape measure. Please, please be sure to take your measurements because it's going to be a great way for you to be able to track your success if you're not using a scale. As well as if you are using a scale, I think you'll be amazed at even more so what your results are. So take your weight, tape measure yourself, and I'll tell you exactly how to do that, as well as take a before picture. Now for the stuff that is in the box, and we don't want you to get overwhelmed. We're going to quickly go through the products that you'll use 6 of the 7 days of a typical week, which will be your shake days. And so we'll pull out those products first, and then we'll talk about the products you use for the cleanse day, which is 1 day.
So the first thing you're going to use on a shake day is your Ionics. And the Ionics comes in liquid or it comes in powder. You will receive either 1 liquid or 1 powder, and you're going to mix that with water. So that will be first thing in the morning you will take your Ionics. Along with your Ionics, you're going to take 1 natural accelerator. This helps boost your metabolism and helps with fat burning. So it's very important that you take this thing first thing in the morning with your Ionics.
Now the Ionics too, you guys, is a great point. It's an energy builder. It's going to help you with the stress. If you're also trying to give up caffeine during this 30 days, this is a really, really helpful thing. It's got a lot of B vitamin in it as well as minerals and herbs. And you're going to actually just do a shot of it in the morning. So you're going to do a shot of this and your accelerator first thing in the morning.
And then we move on to our shakes.
Breakfast. You're going to do a meal replacement, which is the equivalent of a shake, either chocolate or vanilla. Many of you ordered both, so you'll get both flavors.
They also come in these handy pre-measured packets. So for some of you that are going to take your shake to work or that travel, this is a great way to order. It's only $1 more per box. So you would get 4 shake canisters in your 30-day or 4 boxes of your packets.
So the shakes themselves, they can be mixed in the shaker or they can be blended. You can stir them up, put them over ice. They're very versatile. They mix up really well with water, cold water. Bam. If you need to maybe vary the taste a little bit, add a banana or, you know.
All right. Well, you get the idea. That goes for like 5 more minutes. There's a lot of components to this program, but ultimately you're drinking 2 shakes a day and a lot of water.
It's a lot. We say to eat, drink half your body weight in water, which not many of us do
I can't
at this
do
point. Yes, you can. You have to. You have to get used to drinking water because we're flushing. So it's hard in the beginning, but you're gonna get used to it. You're gonna, the more you build, the more water you're gonna want.
All right. Well, let's bring your partner in here, Autumn. Autumn, welcome to Chillin' with Larry and Megan. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. How did you 2 guys team up? How long have you guys known each other? Did you team up just for this, or you been friends for a long time?
Well, we have known each other through hockey. Both of our children play hockey, so we have run into each other. We've been on a few committees together, and one day she asked, what do you do? And so I explained to her I'm a nutritional coach and a cleansing coach. So she thought that was something that she may be interested in. So we met, we talked about it, and that's basically how it all began.
So wait a minute, you're the nutritional coach?
We both are.
But you brought Heidi into it, or she brought you into it?
I brought Heidi into it.
Yeah. And the great thing about Autumn is she knows so much about, she's super, exercise and all the organic. She's very green, and I aspire to be very green, but I'm getting, it's a building process as you learn a little bit more about eating organically and even using cleaning products for your home. As we're detoxing, because that's what we're doing on a weekly basis. It's like, boy, then to be spraying the Lysol, in your bathroom seems really contrary to what you've just done and worked so hard to do all week. And so Autumn's a lot further ahead than me as far as just living more organically.
Autumn was Heidi really fat when you met her, and now she's really skinny?
Heidi's never been really fat. She's always been thin. But she definitely needed to make some better food choices. Just from talking to her, she tended to pick the not so clean foods.
Carbs, Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts, you name it, all the toxins you can put in your body.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the great thing is this has been such a learning process for everybody that's cleansed with us. And since Autumn and I got together and doing this as a team, we've cleansed with probably about 50 people, all different types of people. So, we don't usually younger kids. They love the shakes. They love some of the components of what we have in our cabinets in our homes. But for the most part, the kids can't. We don't want them cleansing till they're 18. But we've had athletes. We have a lot of older people that are cleansing to get just stay healthy. And we have people doing this obviously for weight loss. But that's not the reason I did it. Is I always wanted to do a cleanse, and I have a box in my cabinet that I bought at Walgreens, but I was just always afraid to use it. So when I found out Autumn could actually help me and be my partner in this, it was a great fit.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. I just had a question in my head here. When I first met you, I assumed that, because you're very thin,
mm-hmm.
I assumed that you use these products and like you're one of those people that got thin because of this.
Not necessarily. And you know what? I have, in my experience here with cleansing to this point, I have balanced out at my perfect weight at this point. So that's what it's done for me. And I did release 10 pounds. And we say release because we are shedding. And we have some graphics later that will show a little bit more clearly how this cellular cleanse works and releasing the fat that's really bonded itself to the cells. And that's the difference is I didn't realize I was carrying this around. Nobody told me. And so it's just like it's been a nice change. I haven't even necessarily gone out to buy new clothes or anything like that, but I feel a lot better. And I've maintained for months and months and months and months. And so that's the great thing. On the flip side of it is it's not coming back anytime soon.
Now, you said you guys met through the kids, through the hockey.
Yeah.
So you're both a couple of hockey hussies. Mm-hmm. I mean, hockey moms. Okay. Hockey moms. That's what.
Yeah.
But so you're hockey moms, and that's big out here in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, it's big. You're from New York.
I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, you're from Los Angeles.
Well, I moved to New York, and I lived there for 6 years, and then I moved here.
Okay.
But I lived the first 48 years in LA. But I know hockey's really big out here. So how old are your kids on this hockey team? And then do you get all the other parents in on this too? Actually,
our younger ones, you can speak to this, Autumn, are the ones that are the same age.
Right.
Really. So we've each we're boys. Out in Waconia, we only have boys, everyone. It's all boys. But yeah, so I've got 3 boys, 7, 14 almost, and 16. And then
Okay.
Autumn.
And then I've got 2 boys, and a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Okay, so when you go to the games, do you like get the parents in on
Well,
this?
you know what? And the thing about this is it's such a personal choice. And people are
People out here are big meat eaters.
They are, and you
that's
know what?
I love about
winter
Minnesota.
goes long. Winter goes really long, and so the amount of interest that there has been, and we had about, what did we have in Waconia? About 20 or 25 people in one group cleanse
That first group cleanse.
at one time. Yeah, and so that was really fun. That was great. That was really fun. And the great thing is there are a lot of people that are still cleansing. And then there are some people that did, because we love the 30-day cleanse, that did the 30-day, and they're going to do the 30-day again in the fall.
I got a friend that asked me today about it, and he's going out of town this weekend. But when he comes back, he wants to talk to you.
See, and it's more fun with friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but what about your husbands? Are they doing it too, or do you drive them crazy with this stuff?
Well, Autumn's husband is a unique situation.
Yes. My husband was a little skeptical at first, but in trying just a few of the products, he realized that it was helping him. He plays on a men's hockey league, and he also trained for the Tough Mudder, which is the 12-mile run with 20 obstacles during this 12 miles. And so he decided to use the system to train for this Tough Mudder because, like Heidi said, it's not just for weight loss, it's for athletes as well. And he could not believe the difference in his training and then just getting out there and running with these guys, that he was not fatigued. He had the energy, the stamina to do this run, and he loved it. And actually, he hasn't stopped running. He runs every day now. He takes his shake. He does 1 shake a day, and he takes his ionics, which is for muscle repair, for muscle stress, and then for mental stress as well. And he won't play his men's hockey league without taking his ionics before he heads out to the rink.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that's amazing. I mean, he won't go to men's hockey without taking that. And it makes a big difference in your, the ionics in particular. And that's just one of the supporting products around the shakes that throughout this 30 days you take. Have you?
Well, I've noticed, as far
it's early on.
I'm still in like 3rd day here. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be really difficult to get through the hunger because I remember the lemonade diet. Lemonade diet is great, but you have to get through those first 5 or 6 days to get to that point where you're not hungry. But here, with this one, I can honestly say that I'm not having any difficulty making it through the day.
No.
Oh, sure, I'd like to eat a big burger or something like that.
Right.
But I'm being able to do it rather easily, and I've got energy through the day.
Yeah.
So,
And that's good. And part of that is isogenics, and we could spend the whole entire time talking about the people behind it, the amazing minds really that put this whole program together. But it's the whey protein that's keeping you full, and that makes such a big difference to have the organic whey protein at 80% absorbable, so it's going right to your muscles. So that's the other important thing, is that you're going to start exercising now too. And you're going to get those muscles back.
Well,
Yep.
that's a great point.
Because you got to use it.
I have not exercised at all. That's a big problem, and that's why I've gained so much weight. In LA, I used to play some tennis.
Tennis is a great sport.
I like basketball, but that's
Yeah.
kind of harder to play when you get older and you find guys and all that stuff. But as a matter of fact, I was supposed to play some basketball this weekend with a guy. I've got to retouch base with him tomorrow because I do want to start, doing stuff.
Put it to work, because the protein's there, ready to go to work for you. And so that's a big reason, though, in answer to the hunger. I actually had one gentleman who's cleansing with us who called to say, "Am I eating too much?" Because he felt like so full, and it was just because he really had been eating, as we discussed it, so many carbs and things that are really going right through you. And so really this isn't an all protein thing by any means, but the quality of the protein that we're taking in and the timing of it is great.
Autumn, why don't you tell us, what are we seeing here on the screen now? Can you see that?
Right. I can see that it is it's blood cells from somebody that before they did the 30-day cleanse.
Well, wait a minute now. We're looking at your website.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's the website right there. Those are our isoline shakes coming in chocolate and vanilla. There's 23 grams of protein, whey protein in those shakes. Very high quality organic protein from New Zealand. We call them the happy cows over there because they have such strict regulations over in New Zealand, more strict than our organic regulations. So like when we say high quality organic protein, it's definitely a high quality organic protein.
So here's the website address.
Yeah, www.cleansewithyourfriends.com. And we've really designed it to be an informational spot. We've got a blog area too, where a lot of the people who have cleansed with us, as they're sending comments to us, they allow us to post them. So you can get some real-time feedback from how people were doing at a certain point in their cleanse. And then, highlighting the products, of course, which is a little bit overwhelming. And so, what we really advocate is working one-on-one with people, and that's what Autumn and I do, and that's why we created this. This isn't like a point and click and buy something and do it. That's not really what's going to work for anybody. It's the personal, back and forth and checking in, and not everybody wants that, but a lot of people do. That's going to make you successful. So that's what our mission is to really not handhold necessarily, but be there in case you do have any questions or challenges, because there's a lot of different ways we can adjust the system based on individual needs too.
Okay, now Ronnie, if you could give us a 4-way shot, Ronnie, I want Autumn to tell me what I have to do, okay? Because you've already told me, but I know, like in the morning, I drink that wake up stuff.
Yep, the Ionics.
So tell me exactly, as if you're telling a new person, what the program is and what we do. I mean, take me all the way through it.
All the way through it. I'll take you through the shake days and the cleanse days. So your shake days, what you're going to do is you're going to wake up, and if you have the 30-day package, you're going to take your Ionics. And you're also going to take your, which is a mineral drink, and that helps with the stress, which is great to take in the morning, especially before you go to work. And then you're going to take a natural accelerator, which helps raise the body temperature about 1 degree. It helps with the fat burning. And then you will take, if you have your vitamins, you'll take your vitamins then, and then you'll have a protein shake in the morning. And then throughout the day, so about 3 hours later, you're going to take your isogenic snacks. If you want to take those, they just basically help with making your stomach feel full. Drink a glass of water with them. Otherwise, you can have some almonds, some apples, some vegetables.
I bought almonds.
Yeah, love them. Love
yeah.
them.
So, and then for lunch, we say it's best to eat a regular meal for lunch. So a 400 to 600 calorie meal for lunch. Make sure you have a good amount of protein in your meal. So if you go with a salad at lunchtime, make sure that you get some fish or some chicken or some kind of protein on that salad. Otherwise, sandwiches are great. Wraps are great. And then you go back to snack time again, about that 3 o'clock witching hour when you're feeling really hungry. Mm-hmm. Again, almonds, apples, carrots, hummus, or an isogenic snack. And then at dinner time, we have a shake again. And the shake is your meal. So basically what that does is it helps with your blood sugars before you go to bed, because most people are not active in the evening. So you'll have that shake. And then at night before you go to bed, if you need to have a snack, a small yogurt or something like that you can have, or another isogenic snack. So those are your shake days. You'll do those for 7 days, and then you're going to have a cleanse day. The cleanse day is basically taking the liquid cleanse or powder cleanse, depending on how you order it. I mean, you're going to take 4.
I have the powder.
You have the powder? Powder's my favorite. So you're going to take that with your Ionics right away in the morning, and your vitamins, and your natural accelerator. And then you're going to do that 4 times throughout the day. So I say spread them out every 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And it's 4 ounces every 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours.
So you're not drinking shakes on that day?
You're not going to drink shakes on that day, no. But you can use the snacks for that. Isogenics sells a product called Isodelights. They're dark or milk chocolates. You can have a few of those on cleanse days.
You told me no milk. You said
No,
dark.
well, you don't have the isodelites. I did say to Larry,
Dark
which was a good
chocolate.
tip, is to pack some dark chocolate.
Because I don't like milk chocolate
the
anyway.
good dark chocolate, the good
Yeah,
organic, high, 72% cocoa,
72
that
or
dark
higher.
chocolate.
Yeah,
No
you can
Hershey bar.
Use that too, not a Hershey bar. So, you're not starving the body though on cleanse days because our cleanse has the nutrients of 5 organic fruits and vegetables in 1 serving of cleanse. So it's kind of like we refer to a baby's diet. You are not starving the body. You're giving the body its nutrition that it needs all throughout the day. It's just you're giving your colon a rest. So you would do that 4 times a day, and in between having snacks of a few almonds, maybe a half of an apple, some kind of a snack, or the isogenic snacks. You'll do that throughout the day, and then you'll go back the next day to your shake days. And I do kind of switch up my lunches and my dinners. So if you have dinner plans, by all means, have dinner with your friends and then just do your shake for lunch instead of having it for dinner. And a lot of the times, because I do have a family, I make dinner like I normally would. And the days that I don't eat the dinner and I have my shake, I pack up my portion of dinner, put it in the fridge, and I'll have it for lunch the next day.
That works out really good.
Yeah.
It's really simple, and you get into such a routine that it really becomes second nature. And like, for example, today, even because I was coming here and I was kind of flying around all day, I had 2 shakes today just because it was
Wait a
easier.
minute. Oh, you're still doing this? You don't need it.
No. I still cleanse once a week. And I do need the protein and the vitamins and the minerals and the herbs and all the active enzymes and everything like that you get. So I have 1 shake a day in the morning.
But you're so skinny.
Well, but I get more from that than I would if I ate on my own. If I went back to my carb diet, I'm way better off it's not a diet shake. It's a food. It's your perfect food shake.
Okay.
So it's all good. And then I'm having 2 meals a day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not so skinny.
All right.
Come on.
Ronnie, do we have that picture of the 2 of them wearing their outfits?
Oh.
Now, what is this? You got now. I guess we should tell people there's a business aspect to this, which I'm not interested in at all. Okay.
No, I know. You know what?
I just wanted the products.
Most people aren't. Only about 10 or 15% of people that are involved in isogenics are cleanse coaches or mentors or whatever you want to call them. So most of the people.
So you get the jacket?
Well, Autumn gave me the jacket, which I love the jacket. We got that picture taken because in Waconia, they were nice enough to feature us in an article in the paper. And so that was just part of, we were kind of doing a Waconia challenge, I think is what we called it. And so they were nice enough to kind of highlight this challenge that we did, where we had 20 or 25 people cleansing at the same time. It was just so fun. So we're going to start branching out to other cities here in the particularly West Metro in the coming months, and start doing more, like Eden Prairie, Victoria, Chanhassen, Chaska, and do some more of those group cleanses. Because like you were saying, for a hockey team or a close-knit neighborhood or something like that, and the husbands you spoke, earlier, I think over a third of the people who have cleansed with us have been men, if not half.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great, and my husband, he has cleansed and he lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
And he's kept it off. Yeah. And so it's been, and it's really a whole new way of you just start thinking. I mean, what Autumn just went through sounds, kind of cumbersome. It might, but really it gets you
it's
just
a lot
on
to remember.
It's a lot to remember in the first few days, but then it becomes second nature. And then when you're done on the 30-day system, it's second nature just to eat kind of like that.
I want to get somebody out there to give us a call, call into Heidi.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions,
Give us
that
a
would
call.
be.
We've got a good audience out there.
Or if anyone has cleansed with us who's listening, which I think they all are, but they're sort of shy.
So I think I said I was going to give my weight here, and periodically I'm going to, maybe on my show. I'll tell them where I'm
that
at.
would be great.
Although I'm really painting myself into a corner because now if I don't go through with it, I'm going to look really bad. But I think when you came and delivered the stuff, I think I told you I was 265 because I knew my personal high, my all-time high was 265 about 4 years ago. And then I went on the lemonade thing.
Yeah.
And I did it for 17 days, and then I came off for 7, and then I did it for 24 more days. So I did, in 48 days, I lost about 55 pounds, and I got down to 210. So in my mind, when you delivered this stuff to me, I thought, well, I'm 265. I want to lose like 60. Well, on the first day when I woke up on Tuesday, I went and weighed myself. I couldn't even believe my eyes. I was 282.5.
Creeps up on us.
Yeah. So I've already lost 7 pounds in 2 days. And
that's great.
So I'm down to 275. But my goal is to get to the other side of 200.
And
199.
And even if it sounds like a long haul, but to get into the routine of health, all we really need to do is feed our bodies right. And I think I said to you the day we met, because you were asking for some guidelines, and I said basically if you can picture the item coming through a factory line, and somebody there packaging it, then pretty much don't eat it. So has that helped?
Not really, because honestly, I haven't gone shopping yet.
Oh, you haven't yet? Okay.
I haven't really gone shopping. The other day when I went to buy that water bottle, I picked up a bag of almonds, but that's
there you go.
That's it.
The other way to think of it is if you can't make it at home or duplicate what you're purchasing in the grocery store, well, then it's probably not the right choice for you. So you look at a bag of, say Doritos or something. Well, I know I couldn't duplicate how to make those, and I'm pretty good in the kitchen. So, you just have to kind of weigh it like that maybe as you're going through. And the grocery store is a real challenge.
Yeah, and the program, for anybody who's interested, there is a cost to this. It's like $275 a month. Right?
Well, not a month necessarily, not at all. No, it is to do the 30-day, which is what Autumn and I really are working and advocates of, and it works so well for so many people because it's just 30 days of perfect nutrition. It's about $300 when it's all said and done. Yeah, right. And so it is, but you're going to save money, and I know that's hard to believe.
No, well, the way I eat out all the time. So
if you cut out 2 or 3 dinners, you cut out some of the alcohol that you may be drinking right now, and you're really replacing, what is it, Autumn? 68 meals.
Yep, 68 meals.
Yeah. So it's a lot.
No,
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Cheaper for me because I spend money,
I know, and you're
time.
Picking up quick things, maybe at the gas station or whatnot. There's $7-8 flowing, every time you're turning around. So you'll find that you're going to save some money on the back end.
But the other side to it too is, this may not be part of it, but for me it is. When you spend that money and you shell it out, I don't want to cheat because I spent the money. If I like go off the diet, it's like what a waste of money.
You got to have some skin in the game with anything you do. You gotta, because otherwise, well, think about it. If you're given something for free, it's just not as meaningful. And so I'm a huge believer in that. And it is, it is something that a lot of people will need to, maybe think about and plan for and save for. But it is true. And I know, a lot of people don't want to get in the business side of it like Autumn and I would expect that. But for every 2 people you refer to us, you can make up to $150 too on a Visa gift card. So, and then you can use that at Walgreens.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Like I said, for me, I just want to use the product.
Right. Yep.
And that's fine. I'm happy with that. And also, the person who referred me to you, he lost a bunch of weight. I think he lost John lost
he's a Waconia guy. Yeah.
So and he swore by it. So I took his word for it. The timing was perfect.
Well, could we show that Newsweek cover page, and we can kind of explain a little bit the dynamics of what's actually happening. Now, this is just a graphic that shows a cell, basically, and has become kind of a fat cell. The dark top corner there that you see kind of within that orange area right above the T is a toxin. And so when a toxin enters our cells, our body's natural response is, number 1, to encase it with fat to protect it from leaving that cell, and secondly, to pull it away from the organs. And so we find, and one of the most interesting things, and I think if everyone can think back a little bit in how bodies have really changed over the years, with so many more toxins that have been incorporated into our environments, they really, in 1950 or 55, they really started introducing more and more pesticides and toxins and things like that. We're pulling away from our organs, and we have a lot of that visceral fat around our middles. And that's where most people are holding it in effect because of the toxins that, we maybe used to carry most of our weight, especially the women, maybe down in our thighs. But that's really not true today. It's really moved up for everybody, and that has a lot to do with the toxins.
Now, we had some other pictures here, Ronnie. I think. There we go. What are we looking at here? Can you see that, Autumn?
Yep, I can see it.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at traditional dieting versus cleansing. Traditional dieting, basically, those little black dots are toxins in your body. And so when you go on a diet and you're eating, the frozen diet food or, fat-free this or anything with artificial sweeteners in it or anything like that to save on calories, you are making your body smaller, but you're not addressing the toxins in your body. So what happens is you're large with toxins in your body, and then going on a diet, you're just a smaller body with more percentage of toxins in your body. So then what happens is your body rebounds because you haven't addressed the toxins in your body. And so then the cleansing is basically somebody that has the toxins in their body and does a cleanse and cleans the toxins out of their body, so they don't rebound like someone that is putting more toxins in their body.
That's great. And this graphic comes from your website, right?
Yeah, I think that is on our website somewhere.
Okay. What do we got here, Heidi?
That's actually just our homepage from our website. And so there's just a lot of, like I mentioned earlier, places you can go to kind of explore, what cleanse groups we've got coming up, so what some of the products are.
And who made up the name Cleanse with Your Friends?
Well, we kind of did it together. It's sort of rhymes. I'm a big big into rhyming. And so it kind of just works.
Cleanse with Your Friends. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that's a great tool. And then there is so much out there as far as information, and to address the different types of cleanses. There are lots of different, like you said you did the lemonade. Was it the Hollywood lemonade cayenne pepper? Yeah. And that's You'll hear about that. You'll hear about, movie stars and, people we look up to maybe doing these cleanses. You just have to be really careful because, in essence, you're starving. You really are starving your body for that amount of time. You're just not getting the nutrients and
but
things
you do get the toxins out.
Well, probably, maybe. I mean, the fact that you're not replacing what you're losing with the nutrients and particularly the minerals and herbs. And I think that's been a key point for a lot of people where we just our food supply doesn't have those in them anymore. And so
the hardest part of the lemonade cleanse is in the morning you have to, chug 32 ounces of warm water with sea salt in it as fast as you can.
I can't do it.
It's hard. And then you got to sit around for 35 or 40 minutes. Yeah. And then run to the bathroom.
And then wait, yeah. And that's it. It's really prohibitive for a lot of people to do that, to sit around and wait.
Difficult, man.
It's very difficult.
Like you said, that Hollywood, I think Beyonce did it.
Yeah, I mean and you do hear, but it is, you just have to really, and so hopefully, by us being here tonight, and thank you again so much to having us, we can help educate, and that's really what our mission is, both Autumn and myself, is just, help educate, people as we go, and how easy it is to eat better. Not perfect, none of us are perfect, but for at least 30 days, you're going to be almost perfect, and see how your body responds to that.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, on that note, I think we're about ready to wrap up this segment of the show.
Perfect.
The Isogenics. Autumn, do you have anything for us?
No, thank you for having us on your show, though. It was great. And if you're interested, check us out, cleanseWithYourFriends.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for getting yourself
Autumn.
all hooked up with video Skype.
No problem.
I know you're only up the road. You're about 10 miles or 13 miles from here. It would have been easy for you to come over, but honestly, our studio's just not set up for, we got to fix that, Ronnie.
It looks a lot bigger on TV than it does in real person. Yeah, we're just
if you would have came in here,
here.
Autumn, we would have had to have you and Heidi squeeze in and share one camera and then share a microphone. This way you each, have your own thing,
Now we know how to Skype.
Yep.
Oh, look out now.
Look out.
Yeah. Thanks, Autumn.
Thanks, Autumn.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right, Ronnie, I think we should go to a break. What do you think? Sure. All right, we're going to go to a break. Only about a minute and a half. Don't go away. More with Heidi when we come back.
Chill with Larry Megan.
ZuluTimeZone.com is the first and only authorized dealer for Offshore Limited in the United States. ZuluTimeZone.com is proud to support Chillin' with Larry Megan and Acorn TV. Use the discount coupon code DAD to receive an additional $20 off per item. ZuluTimeZone.com digs Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Okay, welcome back. That was great. And if you're just tuning in, I have a case of laryngitis tonight. I'm okay. I'm not sick. I just can't talk. So bear with us here. We're going to get through it. Now, our guest tonight is Heidi Nessa. And we just went through, I don't know, what is it, about 45 minutes about isogenics because I'm doing a cleanse, an isogenics cleanse with Heidi. And I just met her, and I'm really excited about it. I lost 7 pounds in the first 2 days, and I said, come on here and be on the show. But there's a lot more to Heidi than just the cleansing part of it. She's a hockey mom. She's very active in the community. She grew up in the community. But she also has, now before we show it now, don't show it yet, Ronnie. She does this fishing thing. Fishing is a big thing out here.
It's huge.
Especially,
It's huge.
the lake fishing. There's all these lakes and everybody fishes.
Yeah.
So Heidi started this, I don't know, adventure, I guess. We'll find out what it is. But 2 chicks and a rod.
Yep.
And we're going to get into that. But, we're also going to have a classic film zone tonight. Mm-hmm. With, we're going to show a little bit of an affair to remember. So I'm just thinking, should we go to 2 chicks in a rod? You got your sister out there waiting?
Well, I asked my sister.
Because she's the other chick.
Yeah, we're 2 chicks, so we're sisters.
So
I'm hoping she's maybe going to call in.
We're going to go into 2 chicks and a rod. Heidi, what the heck is 2 chicks and a rod?
We're from Minnesota. We grew up on a lake. We always kid with our friends and husbands, when you're out on a lake and there's a trouble with the boat or something. We're always like, oh, we grew up on a lake, we'll handle it, because we feel like we should know almost everything that has to do with lakes because that was our environment. We were so right there growing up. However, as our kids have gotten older, and we're fishing with them almost, constantly. We have fishing boats and we've got all the gear and we've spent tons of time and money and effort to be out on the lake and show them the good life of fishing. We're not catching anything. And so this has been going on. We have a family fishing contest up at my sister's cabin, up at Heather's cabin every year. And I never catch anything. And other people do. And she sometimes catches a little sunny or something, but for the most part, she's never caught neither of us have ever caught a big fish. So we have this realization at the campfire on Labor Day last year that what the heck? Is it just a big scam? Are people just sitting out there in their boats? Why can't we catch anything? And our kids weren't really doing well either. And so what are we doing wrong was the big question. And so we decided to address it. So that's where this was born, around a campfire with our families, laughing about how there's really a need for somebody to kind of break through and get down to the basics. Because we can watch those fishing shows all day, and they've got all the equipment and the fish finders and the people, the experience, and they're reeling in these big fish, but it just doesn't happen for the common early on fisher, early stage fisher person. So how do you get started is really what our mission is.
Well, let's show a quick shot of your website. It's 2 chicks and a rod, and there's the 2 chicks. So that's you and your sister, right?
Yeah.
And your sister's name is Heather?
Heather, yeah.
Do you love your sister?
I do. And it's been really
well,
fun.
Well, it's good because, Heather, welcome to the show.
Oh.
Hi, Eddie. Hi.
I was trying to set her up there a little bit there. Okay, cool. Well, we don't have a separate picture of Heather, do we? But
well,
we have a picture.
There she is.
I
That first opening one of.
There
we go. We say that I'm a little bit country and she's a little bit rock and roll. And it fits.
It does fit.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So who's older?
Me.
Oh.
I am.
Okay.
But not by much. We're just
we're
18 months. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
18 months apart. So we've had a lot of fun kind of reconnecting because, so busy life is when you've got these young kids and all, having some time alone. go fishing and be on the road with these, fishing gigs, and it's been really, really fun to spend time together.
And do you guys have your own boat?
No. This is next year's hope and dream that we're going to have. What is it, Heather?
Oh, a sparkly cream bass boat.
Off-white, we're thinking, with our
We
logo.
can see it.
Yeah.
Yep, we can see it in the rearview mirror already.
Now, Heather, where are you at? Are you in Waconia also?
No, I'm actually in Eden Prairie.
Heather from Eden Prairie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you're in Waconia.
And I'm in Waconia. We don't go far. We grew up in Eden Prairie, right on Bryant Lake.
Right.
And so nobody moves far. You'll probably never leave here now that you live here for a while.
I do like it here. I do like it. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
We
between
love it here.
Waconia and Eden Prairie, for
yeah.
those out there that don't know. All right, so who got into the fishing first? Was it Heidi or Heather?
I think Heidi was probably more into the fishing because of her boys. Her middle being a huge angler. So I think it was probably Heidi. But I tell you what, up at my cabin when we do our family fishing contest, that's when it really drove the point home that we needed to go fishing for basics, because clearly we are missing the boat. You know, no pun intended. But we just are not understanding what it takes to catch fish.
Right.
Well, by now with your videos and stuff like that, I would think by now you're starting to catch on.
It's getting better and better. I mean, it's really amazing the amount. We hear a lot of repetition out there, though. Like, we went to the Leech Lake Walleye Tournament and interviewed probably, 20 or so people who had just come off the lake, and they were all, either revved up because they did really well, or they were kind of down in the dumps because they hadn't. Oh, there's Mark Rosen. He was nice enough to give us some time.
Heather,
that's
right?
That's us. And so we're just kind of knocking around, asking people. There's tons of boats out there. Yeah, it was a great, beautiful day, wonderful tournament.
Which lake is that?
Leech Lake. Yeah.
Beach Lake, yeah. And
Is that a
everyone
big
was
tournament?
so excited
Big
to tell us how they did. And fishermen are great because they are so excited.
Yeah.
They cannot wait to tell you what they caught, how they caught it, what they caught it with, whether they were fishing deep, fishing. I mean, it's just, they're great. Anglers, fisher people are great.
They really are, but a lot of repetition. We kept hearing jig and a minnow, jig and a minnow. And so that was walleye. I mean, that is how you fish for walleye. Yeah. So now we know, pretty clear, if you're going to fish for walleye, a jig, now you have to know what a jig is, and a minnow. And so that's kind of the walleye technique that, we picked up there. And so it's really fun. So we hang out at tournaments, or we go out with some professional fishermen or women too. And they teach us a lot. So we were out with, we have a local fisherman in Waconia who's a pro bass fisherman, Matt Peters. He's fantastic, and so he was nice to take us out crappie fishing.
Well, you guys got on the news, a quick shout out on the news.
We did.
I grabbed that, from your website.
Oh, yep, there's
so
Matt.
Let's take a quick little peek at that. Check it out.
5 Eyewitness News reporter Kate Renner out to the same place where Governor Dayton is hanging out this morning, Lake Waconia. Good morning, Kate.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Yeah, the governor's fishing opener send-off is just about to get started. The governor came in after fishing all night. He went off at midnight. Unfortunately, he got skunked, but the lieutenant governor did catch a fish, and we're not going to get skunked today, are we, ladies?
No.
I'm here with Heidi and Heather. You guys are with 2 chicks and a rod.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about your company.
Well, we're 2 moms that are going back to the basics and learning how to fish. So we're sharing all that we learn. We fished with professionals, we fished with everyday anglers, and just kind of getting the best tips, of which we've gotten a few today.
Yeah, so you guys are from the Waconia area. Tell me a little bit about the layout of this lake and where you're going to take the people you're guiding.
There's an island right in the middle of Lake Waconia. So it's almost like a mini Lake Minnetonka. It's a beautiful lake, hidden gem. And so a lot of fishing around that island. There's a lot of great reef points that people are fishing off of today. The walleye and the bigger fish are not on the bottom today. They say they're up about 8 inches or so. And so, there's not a ton of luck. So at this point last night, it wasn't very busy. It didn't sound like, but they're waiting. South of Cakes Bay is kind of where they're getting the most hits.
And what kind of bait do you plan to use today?
Live, probably minnows. Yeah.
And I'll take some of that advice because I'm going to be heading out there in about a half an hour, seeing if I can try my luck at catching something. Reporting live in Waconia.
Very nice. I noticed you guys have the branded hats, the branded jackets and everything.
Form over function is you got to look good.
Absolutely. We can get you one, Larry.
Yeah.
Well, I got to learn how to fish. You know, I'm not really, you know.
So you're sort of in the same boat as us.
Yeah.
Here you are in Minnesota. You don't really know how to fish. It's a problem.
So 2 chicks and a valley boy.
Yeah.
But
it will work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you: is this some kind of a business or it's just an adventure for fun?
It is
A little
just
of both.
Well, I can't say it's a money-making venture at all.
No, it's certainly not a business.
Just
but
like chilling with Larry
it's something
Megan.
that we're having a
It's
ton of
costing me a
fun.
fortune.
Having a ton of fun doing.
Yeah, at this point, it's really just a fun. Here's what it really is. You want to know what it is? This is good.
So,
Here's really what it is. That night at the campfire when we were talking about this, our husbands and our kids we were laughing so hard. We were rolling on the ground. We thought we were so funny and this was such a great idea. They were rolling their eyes. And at that moment, you look at them and you just go, what? Don't you think we can do it? And it was sort of, in my mind and Heather's as well, a challenge to say, like, okay, look, kids, it's sort of a learning moment for them. And they have been pretty amazed that, you know, this just happened last Labor Day. So it hasn't even been a year. And our goal at the time, way back from our very first video, when we very first introduced ourselves, we said, our goal is to be at the governor's opener. And so there we were, as a host boat.
Yeah.
And we have, I think we've got some pictures from the governor's opener. And that in and of itself, we kind of we reached our goal. There we are. So we were lucky enough to be, we're the only chick host boat. We're the only ladies that were hosting. And so by hosting, I mean they had about 120 boats that were bringing people out. That's Lake Waconia.
Okay.
So that's, it's a great, this is great crappie. I've never caught a crappie before. That was like,
it looks
really, it was
small.
big. That's a big one. Heather's was small.
It was bigger than mine.
And that's just we're kind of just posing there, as you can see. But the idea, being that here we're with Dan Gapen. He's a fishing legend. So we did a little interview with him, which was really fun. And
I've got it on tape.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. And so we were just kind of interviewing people as we were going around, and
it was a lot of
there's
fun.
the governor.
That was a fun day.
There's Governor Dayton. We got to kind of rub elbows with him for a little bit.
Just with a catchy name. Now, who made up this name?
Well, I think it was a kind of a group effort that night. It was like, what would we call ourselves? So
sitting around the campfire, I think we threw out probably 25 names, of which just kept getting funnier, more funny as they came on, as they went on. But no, it just kind of, we landed it that night, and that's been what it is ever since.
You made a name, you made a logo. You put up a jacket and some hats, and all of a sudden, you guys are on TV.
Well, we're pretty passionate about it. We're pretty, it still bothers us. In fact, we were featured on, there's a new show coming on called The Rush Club, which is going to come on a Fox affiliate here in the next month or so. So they featured us, and the gal who's a hostess, who's a huge outdoorsman and woman, and hunts and fishes and ATVs and all this, she said, well, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught? And Heather and I were forced to look at each other, and we kind of had to start laughing and say, well, it was that day at the opener, when we each caught our crappies. And we've been out with professionals. We have been on the docks. We have been in people's boats. And still this holds, and we're still not quite getting the vibe of what we're supposed to be doing.
But that's the fun of it. It's kind of like, for dummies.
The quest.
It is a learning experience. It is a learning, with every time we go out, we learn a little bit more and a little bit more.
Can you kind of enlist some of the wives and everything from, like your kids' parents and stuff like that to join you, or it's just 2 chicks?
Well, we don't know that we don't have a lot to offer. Like, some people think we're like a guide service, which we're so not. As a matter of fact, I got my finger in a hook the other day, which is on our website, which you can go look at. It's kind of funny. Trying to help my son, get his hook out. I ended up in the ER. So that's kind of where I'm at. Is you just don't know what you don't know.
We have that picture, Ronnie.
I do you?
Yeah. Unless you dumped it.
I don't think you do.
No, we did. I picked it up.
It's on our website if anyone wants to go look at it. So that's the concept, is why can't I take a hook out of a fish without getting slayed? So
Why don't we take a look at that interview you did
with Dan Gapen.
Now, Dan Gapen is a legend.
He's a fishing legend who he's there at the opener, and he ends up in this boat that's this a Lumacraft 1942 with this awesome guy who I know, whose name's Austin. But Dan couldn't have been happier because it was the same boat he used to fish in when he was learning, or when he was, I should say, he used to be on TV. When he was on TV, that was the same model boat. So he was just in heaven out there on the lake fishing in this classic boat. So
now, what lake is this at?
This is still Lake Waconia for the Governor's opener.
All right, let's do it. All right, thanks. Let's do it.
Hey, we're here with fishing legend Dan Gapen, and he's going to give us his best fishing tip. So here we go. What do you think?
Well, one of the things that most people do wrong is they fish too fast. In other words, when they're working a jig in a lake, they're always jerking it like this. You've got to slow it down. It gives the fish time to analyze and absorb what they're looking at. We've watched on underwater footage, we watched using underwater cameras, we watched bass and walleyes and perch come up to a bait, about to take it, and you're jerking it. So you want to slow down your presentation. And then in rivers, which I'm known for, the best advice I can give people is you got to cast upstream, retrieve downstream. Food comes with the current.
So you let it pass you by?
Yeah, you let all the fish, if you think about it, you never see a fish with his tail upstream.
Right.
He's always face into the current.
Yep.
Food comes with the current. So instead of casting downriver, reeling up, you need to cast upreel, which is most people do that.
Yeah.
Cast upstream, retrieve back downstream. Two of the basic things. They're quite simple, and actually fishing is actually simple. It's not as complicated as the pros make it. It's just common sense.
Yeah.
I always tell them when I do my seminars, I ask people, if I were a fish, where would I be, what would I be doing, and what would I want? And sometimes that's the best fishing ingredients you can get.
Oh, what an honor.
Now go catch one.
Thank you. Now we're going to go reel them in.
There you go.
Woo!
Very nice. You've got a bunch of those little videos like
We
that.
do.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
cool.
it's just been really fun.
Now, we had a couple pictures with you and your sister and your dad.
Yeah, there's our dad. I think I forgot to tell him to tune in tonight, so I'm sorry about that. But he'll have to watch.
Heather.
That's Heather. I know we happened to wear gray that day, both of us. It's kind of hard to
It
tell
was
us
not
apart.
planned. That
Not
was
planned.
his birthday. So we brought lunch to Lake Harriet and brought our fishing poles, of which he didn't know, and just sat there for about 45 minutes after lunch and fished with them. We had a lot of fun.
Now, when you were little girls, did you fish with your dad then? So or is he just surprised that you're into this?
We did. I mean, he's a big fisherman. He was. He doesn't fish as much today, but we did go on like one houseboat trip, and fished. But that's really no. We didn't fish with him. We probably weren't very interested in it at the time.
No,
as you're like a girl growing up, other things.
So what a surprise!
Other things, yeah. I think he's kind of psyched about the whole thing.
Now, you guys always go locally here to these lakes around here, or do you guys ever go up north or something like that?
Well, we were up north for that Leech Lake tournament. So and our goal is to start, kind of getting out and about and maybe even going to Canada someday, or, kind of some different types of maybe salmon fishing or river fishing and things like that. Kind of mixed up a little bit.
One of the things that, since I moved here, that's kind of surprised me a little bit is the lifestyle here in Minnesota is such a recreational lifestyle. Everybody has boats and jet skis and trucks, and it's all about taking your boat out to the lake and going fishing here. It's a big thing out here.
It's a big lake. Yeah. Well,
and camping. Now, do you guys go camping too as a family?
We do. I do. Heather.
I'm not so much. I'm not a camper.
No, I'm not either. I got to have hot running showers.
I'll go camping all the time, but I. And not necessarily camping and fishing or camp. I mean, a lot of people, you're right, will go like into the boundary waters and they'll camp. And Minnesota's a huge outdoor
Yeah,
place.
I tried doing some dating when I first moved here, and there was this one chick that I thought I was going to go out with, and she asked me if I had my own boat, and I said no.
That was
And
it?
she said, no, then you're not for me. You know, she wanted a guy with a
That
boat.
was it. Oh, that's hysterical. Well, we
I'm
do.
not
you know,
kidding.
there-
I swear to God.
we only have a few months, so yeah, if you're a water
Yeah.
person, you need a boat.
Unbelievable.
Got to get a boat, Larry.
So, okay, now if you do go camping and you're fishing, I mean, do you guys eat the fish too? You clean it and cook it and all
Well,
that?
now I have not done that, gone fishing.
But is that what they do out
That
here?
is what they do, especially if you're on like in the Boundary Waters. And my son goes, my 16-year-old goes to the Boundary Waters every year, and he brings back a ton of fish, which is great. And then they do have shore lunches, is what they would, or dinners or whatever, where they just right there, you know, eat the fish, eat their day.
The first time, when I first started coming to Minneapolis about 8 years ago, and you go to the different restaurants, you see this thing on the menu called walleye. I never heard of walleye, but in Minnesota, up here in Minneapolis, every restaurant has some walleye.
Walleye fingers.
Walleye
Some form of walleye, yeah.
Yeah. What is walleye? But it's pretty good eating fish.
It's a great eating, and not all fish are good for eating. That's another thing we've learned is, you know, like crappie are great for eating, like sunnies, crappies. Walleye are great for eating. Bass, not so great for eating.
But I noticed they always fry the walleye, don't they?
Well, probably
Most
fry.
restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think, you know, when you wouldn't, you probably wouldn't just. Well, you could probably just broil it too.
Really?
Right, but I think that the probably
Yeah,
most typical thing
usually-
is a big fish fry with your walleye with friends.
There's nothing better than you know, you batter
Do
it
you,
up and
do you
put
do
it.
that, Heather?
I'm sorry?
Is that what you do with your friends? Big fish
You know,
fries?
I don't catch enough walleye in order to even feed myself. But my neighbor happens to be a huge angler, and he every year does a big fish fry for a few of us, our families in the neighborhood.
Okay. And do you have babies too?
Excuse me?
Do you have babies too?
Kids.
I do. I have an 11-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they're great. All of our kids are great fishermen as well as great kids, of course. But yeah, they're all pretty into it, and I think they're again kind of amazed at what we've pulled off here in pulling this idea together and kind of executing it. And it's a life lesson for them. If nothing else, it's a life lesson for them to look back at their moms and say, "Oh, they had an idea and they actually did it." And it's just
And now
time.
it's kind
It's
of
time and effort.
It's taking a life of its own, and you're still pushing it forward.
Yeah, and we would like.
I think they're all pretty impressed, and I think they're all pretty proud of the fact that we, get a little bit of footage here and there, and we get to do the Leech Lake thing, and we have a lot of fun together. And I think most importantly, that's what they see is that we get to spend time together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Heather, has this brought you and your sister closer, or were you guys already super close?
Oh, absolutely. We were already close, but this has brought us undescribably closer. I mean, we've always been close, aside from the high school years. But but
What's so
absolutely.
funny?
I don't think a day goes by that we don't talk.
Yeah.
At least once.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's
all I
great.
can say is Heather locked me in a dog kennel. She's stronger than me, always has been. And so she locked me in a dog kennel. And
In high school?
Well, I was probably
No,
more in
I
middle
don't.
school. But yeah.
Obviously, you gave me a reason to do it. I'm not exactly sure it was, but there was something behind it. I don't know what you did,
bad.
but I somehow got her into a dog kennel. I don't know if you went willingly or what, and I just tricked you, but I locked
Put
her
a
in.
blanket over it and left me there.
Walked away.
It's bad. So, but it's been fun.
We had, I think, one other video. Did you want to show that?
Which one?
Right before the show, I asked you, were there any other videos? And you said, this one's pretty good.
Oh, that was pretty. Yeah, that's just of the governor's opener.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of fun. It's
You want to
kinda-
see it?
Yeah, sure.
Is it long or like?
It's a little bit. It's like 3 minutes.
That's nothing.
Okay, let's look at it.
All right, let's check it out.
Here we are.
All right, we're at the governor's opener, and we're going fishing with City Council member Larry Millender. Woo! We're gonna go. We could just go right here and cast
Lots of sunnies.
Sunnies, but we're gonna go big.
Crappie.
Big.
Walleye.
Big.
We're going. Here we go.
The bobber you're fishing with us.
All right, we're here with City Council member Larry Millender, and this is a fishing opener, which we're so honored to have him with us today. Heather, what are you doing over there?
Well,
I've got the crappie slayer in, and I've got the bobber.
Yeah, okay.
Bobber, I'm not getting a lot of action, but Larry's working
He's working for the crappie
what is that?
spinner. What's that going to do for your Larry? What's that going to do
It's
for your
not going
Larry?
to catch a thing. This is back to the basics.
Yeah. So
we don't have fish locators, and we're kind of old school.
We are old school. This is a no fish locator type of thing. We're almost in front of the California house, which is a good location in the wintertime.
Okay.
If you like to fish in the bay.
Okay. That's a hot tip, the California house. Crappie on! Fish on! Fish on! Heather! Bam! Bam! Yeah! Look at you! Yes! That rocks! Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Larry, it's all thanks to you. I mean, seriously, get in the shot.
Who's the fishing host here?
Larry.
Larry.
Okay, so I saw the white of the fish at the last second, but it was too late because...
Because one of the basics about bobber fishing is that you always are paying attention to the bobber. It can be very boring at times, but as Heidi just found out, she was over looking at who knows what, but her bobber was 20 feet under the water and this way 40 feet. The pole almost flew out of her hands, and she goes, woo, 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 woo. It was a beautiful fish. Anyway, back to the basics. Pay attention to your bobber.
Thank you, Larry.
Heidi's got one! Oh, it's so big it's gonna break my pole!
Sitting on the dock, you know, Austin's a fishing host,
No way.
and
Nice!
guys didn't show up.
Nice!
And I'm going.
Look at that.
This is thanks to Larry.
Serve shore lunch.
That is
Wow.
huge, Heidi.
What do you think, Hev?
Okay, we're wrapping the day up after our fun-filled day with Larry. Thank you very much, Larry. We both caught something. We're headed to the shore lunch, and we're going to talk to a couple other people and see what they caught and what they were using. So, happy fishing opener.
Larry?
Thank you, Heidi, Heather, for taking me out for an enjoyable day of fishing. What a gorgeous day. I'm glad you guys both caught monster crappies.
And the great thing is we learned a lot about crappie fishing and fishing in general from Mr. Millender. So, over and out. Till next year.
Keep your
Governor's
tips up.
opener. Keep your tips up.
Very nicely done, Heather.
you.
Very nicely.
Thank you.
done.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. That was a very fun weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you both are pretty like extroverted. You know, you guys are like both like very aggressive chicks.
We are.
And
I mean, we are, I think. You know, I mean, if you compare us with the average.
And I love the fact that you call yourselves two chicks because, you know, this whole thing about being politically correct and everything, you know, I'm an older guy, and back then it was just normal. Nowadays, I mean, if I say that to my daughter, oh my God, she'd go crazy. Daddy.
Sort of. You
know?
It goes back to rolling around laughing about the name and the concept. And so our name is Two Chicks and a Rod, which implies, you know, whatever you want to take from that. And then our tagline is fishing for basics and hoping to catch a ride. Meaning that when we're at the lake accesses, we really want to go on people's boats and have them take us out. So that's our base concept, is that we just want to go out with normal, everyday people, whether it's the grandma and grandpa who are at the access or the family or the person, you know, whoever. And so
you just want to go on people's
we just want to go on people's boats until we have our own.
Right.
It's our own choice.
And then you can have it branded on the side.
Oh, it'd be so awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
very hot.
But for now, this does just fine.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen, you'll have to, shoot me. I'll be watching.
We'll take you out when we get that boat.
Absolutely, you'll be our first guest on the boat.
You could borrow it for your date.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to go deep sea fishing with my dad. My dad was really into it, and I used to love those trips until I think of maybe about the fifth or sixth one. Once I got seasick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That won't happen here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
No seasick.
But I mean, we used to go, albacore fishing
I
out of
bet.
San Pedro and go south and go for yellowtail. And man, those. I was a little kid, man. But once I got seasick, man, I threw up in the ocean.
Oh, that was it.
Oh my God. I was saying, Dad, please get me home. God, please get me off
That's
this boat.
bad.
You know?
So bad.
I mean, and then once you get seasick, then every time back out, you may not get seasick, but you get that feeling like you're about
like you're going to.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
It's kind of like on a long car drive.
But that was in the ocean, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll have to get you out here. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we will.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, Heather, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun chilling with you, Larry.
Listen, you don't have video Skype, do you?
I don't.
Well,
I don't. One of these days I will get it.
Yeah, it's free. You just gotta
know what to do.
You just gotta have the camera and the microphone. You know.
You know what? Next time I will be on it.
All right, cool.
I promise. Well, thank you so much, Heidi. It was fun.
Yeah, bye-bye.
As always. And thanks, Larry. And hope to see you on our boat someday.
Absolutely. It'd be a lot of fun.
Okay. Thank you.
When I
Good
lose
night.
weight. Okay. See you later. Okay.
We'll be out there. That's right.
Yeah, I don't want to sink the boat. I'm so
Oh,
fat. But
stop.
we'll lose the weight and then.
It's all. See, so this whole thing works together.
Yeah.
The cleansing, the fishing, the fun, and it's all about just having fun.
Ronnie, let's go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to check out just a little bit about your favorite movie.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Great.
Chill with Larry Megan.
ZuluTimeZone.com is the first and only authorized dealer for Offshore Limited in the United States. ZuluTimeZone.com is proud to support Chillin' with Larry Megan and Acorn TV. Use the discount coupon code DAD to receive an additional $20 off per item. ZuluTimeZone.com digs Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Chill with Larry Megan.
All right, we're back. We're chilling with Larry Megan. We're chilling with Heidi Nessa tonight. As you can tell, I've got laryngitis here, and so it's a rough night, but we're going to get through it. Now, before we get to the Classic Film Zone, just a little bit here, Heidi. We, of course, Stacia did a preliminary interview with you, and, just a few things I want to go over about you.
Oh, great.
No, well, like, for example.
What I tell you?
Well, we asked, like, what's your favorite music or song?
Right.
You said you're not a music person.
I'm a music person. I'm a music, like, I'm the first one on the dance floor. Music's blaring in my car. I can't exercise unless I have music. So I'm a music person, but I am not a picky music person. I can listen to anything. I know you're an oldies guy. Yeah. I can listen to the gangsta rap. I can listen to anything. It does not matter. Usually if it's got some sort of a beat, the only thing I don't like to listen to is when it's like the super electric, like just droning sound, then I kind of go nuts. But other than that, I've never bought, I have never invested in purchasing any music or any Xanadu.
Now, what about your kids? Are they all into?
Yeah, the kids they're all like on the iTunes, and they have different access than we had when we were growing up too. Like, I think it's easier for them to listen and test music out versus go buy an album. So yeah, they're more into it. And my husband is a music savant, so he kind of covers me if I need help on, in a conversation or something like that when it has to do with music. So yeah, but no, I love music, but I just I'm not picky.
Okay.
Which I think's odd.
All right. Now, you grew up here in Eden Prairie, which is right up the road.
Yeah.
Okay, you haven't gone far.
Nope.
You went to school here. What about college?
I went to Madison, University of Wisconsin at Madison.
Now that's supposed to be a renowned party school.
Yeah,
There's a lot of kids that go from Southern California, go from LA.
Yeah.
I remember, when my stepson and stepdaughter were going to college, they both went to UC Santa Barbara, but a lot of their friends went to Madison.
It's a really high quality education. In fact, I could not get in there today. Their standards have like gone up. I mean, you need to practically have a 4.0 to get in there now. So I feel really lucky to have been able to go there.
Okay. And when you came out, what were you looking to be, career or whatever?
When I came, I kind of did one of those, you have to decide what to do. And you go in and you're supposed to do business. You're supposed, you want to try to just, you don't really know what to do. So I was going to do business. But then seemed sort of difficult, to be honest, to go through the business school. It's hard. And then, but you want some of those classes, whatever. There was a major called retail management. That was the only major they offered at the time that dipped into the classes at the business school. So I was in the business school, going to the same classes and side by side with a lot of those business school students. But then I was also doing some of the creative, like textiles classes and retail management classes. So then I went to work for Dayton Hudson Marshall Fields.
Yeah, my daughter's into that because
is she?
She's a manager for Gap at one of their stores. She loves the Gap, and she's been with them for about 12 years. And she's managing.
There's not aside from the restaurateur business, retail and restaurants, two most difficult things out there.
All right. So how long did you work for Dayton's?
I think I was about 6 years or so.
Really?
Yeah. I was kind of making my way up the, assistant buyer, planner, and then the next step's buyer. And one of my vendors took me out for lunch, and it's just sort of a great guy. He's probably close to retirement, and he seriously the whole time is talking about, what are your goals and all this stuff. And I, just kind of thought, well, I don't know, probably get promoted someday and be a buyer. And he started this whole conversation about, I'll never forget it. He started talking to me about, don't go too far into the ocean or you can't get out. And so we use this whole analogy about how, you get sucked in and you start making lots of money and, they keep promoting you, and nothing bad. I mean, it was a great experience. And Dayton Hudson Marshall Fields today is a great place to work. And I have tons of friends who still work there. But that sort of got me thinking, well, maybe I don't need to retire here, and what are my real goals? And so it was a great conversation for me to have at that moment, as you're kind of in between, job or on the road, on the path, up the ladder, all that stuff. So I left soon after and just started doing other things.
Okay. And then how did you get into the whole, I don't want to go back to the isogenics too much, but just quickly, how did you get into that?
Yeah, well,
was it Autumn brought you in, or you were already interested in that? And
that, again, is kind of one of those moments where you go, because, you get to a certain point in life and in age wise for me where you go, okay, it's not really going to get any better than this. I'm not, it's just I'm at a point, I'm 45 years old, where you're all right, well, it's going to start kind of going downhill now. And so what am I going to do to proactively, try to maintain things? And so, the isogenics thing came around at a great time when I was just kind of thinking to myself, all right, well, I need to really start getting serious about health and nutrition. You hear it every day. We know what we're supposed to eat. We know not to, what not to do. We know what we're supposed to do. But then the question becomes, how do I execute that? And that's the difficult part, is how do I go to the grocery store on a weekly basis and execute eating correctly? And for some, when you're not eating correctly, and it's such a jumping off point.
And this is now a career for you because
it now is. And and it was a bridge for me to get healthy. And then I looked at it and I went, oh, well, I love doing this. I could totally help other people. And I'm, so yeah, it's been really fun.
All right. And then, in the interview, preliminary interview, Stacia asked you, do you have any favorite classic movies?
Yes.
And what did you answer?
Well, it took me a second to think about it because you don't just have a lot of time to sit around and watch movies. Right. But my favorite is An Affair to Remember. And I had to ask my husband what the title of it was because, of course, I couldn't remember.
Well, here we always we like to feature a little bit of classic movies. If I don't have a guest, sometimes we'll spend an hour on a classic movie. We show lots of clips. Tonight we're going to kind of try and make it a little bit abbreviated. But when Stacia told me you said an affair to remember, she says, have you ever shown it before? Because we've done about 53 or 54 shows. I said, amazingly, we haven't.
You haven't?
We haven't
That's
done
incredible.
that. Of course,
It's meant to be.
And I have it in my library, of course.
Yes.
Because it is an all-timer. But, so Ronnie, let's do it. Let's go to the Classic Film Zone.
Favorite part.
It's now or never.
Never is a frightening word.
We'd be fools to let happiness pass us by.
Winter must be cold for those with no warm memories. We've already missed the spring.
Yes. Well, it's probably my last.
They never get this movie. I know.
Okay. Isn't that perfect? Yeah. Well, that was a quick little scene from, of course, Sleepless in Seattle with Rosie O'Donnell and Meg Ryan. And the way that they used an Affair to Remember in that movie, Sleepless in Seattle, it actually gave new life to the movie itself.
Oh, yeah.
The DVD sales spiked. I think they sold something like another 2 million copies after Sleepless in Seattle.
Kind of reminds you of it. Yep.
Yeah. But in any case, this movie, An Affair to Remember, was 1957. It was Cary Grant, of course, and Deborah Kerr. I always have, to me, it's always a little funny because her name is spelled Kerr, Kerr, but it's pronounced Carr. And at that time, she was a very, she was a hot actress in Hollywood. And she had done, she had a string of, great hits in a row. And they actually wanted Ingrid Bergman to play this role instead of, and then Ingrid Bergman was busy on something else. She couldn't do it. And Deborah Kerr had just done a movie with Cary Grant. So she seemed to be a logical choice. This was the second of 3 movies that Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr did together. But this is a remake. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, in 1939. So this was 1957. But 18 years before this, a movie called Our Love Affair, or Love Affair, was called Love Affair.
Have you watched that?
I don't have that one, and I have not seen it. I've seen some clips of it, but I haven't seen the whole movie. But that was also directed by Leo McCarey, who also directed this one 18 years later.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. But it is classic, and one of the hard things about featuring a movie like this in our Classic Film Zone is when we show a musical, the musical numbers kind of define the clips. And the musical number might be 3 minutes or 4 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, maybe if it's long. But when you have a dramatic movie like this and you're trying to show clips, if you just cut 3 minutes out of a scene, it kills the whole scene.
I'm sorry.
It's very hard to get short, compact clips. So, I went ahead and I got like 8 different clips here, and I could have clipped 20 clips. There's so many great scenes in this. But let's just whet your appetite. Well, here, before we do, let me set the stage on this. Now, do you remember the movie?
Well, yeah. I do. I don't know if I could.
Okay. Well, here's what's going on. You have this internationally known kind of playboy, not necessarily wealthy in his own right, actually, but he's very well known. He's his name is Nicola, or Nicky, and Nicky Ferrenti. And it's, of course, played by Cary Grant. And he's engaged to be married to an American heiress. It's an industrialist daughter.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yes,
okay.
And she's worth $600 million
Okay.
in 1957.
Wow.
So she's obviously extremely wealthy. And he's in Europe. And he's going to take this cruise over to New York
Yep.
from Europe.
Yep.
And where his fiance is waiting for him in New York, and then they are to be married.
Yes.
Once he gets there, so he's engaged to be married to a woman with $600 million. Okay, and it's international news. Everybody knows Nicky Ferrenti, and they ask him for. He's like a celebrity, kind of for being a celebrity, basically. And of course, his good looks and everything. Now, Deborah Carr, the role she plays is Terry McKay. And she's on the same cruise, and she's also, I don't know if technically she's engaged to be married, but she's going to be married. She's been living with the same guy for 5 years. And this is a guy who's very wealthy, and he's taken care of her. She used to be a nightclub singer, and one night he found her and said, "You don't belong here, okay? This is below you." So he took her out of there, and now she's a made woman, and she's taking the boat ride from Europe to America where he's waiting for her. And of course, they're probably supposed to be married too. The guy wants to marry her. And they're on this cruise together. And I don't know so much about Terry McKay as far as if she really wants to marry him. But Nicky is not totally in love, with the woman he's going to marry. And it's a lot of money. And he's had lots of different women. So that's the setup for the movie. They're going to take a boat ride, and they meet each other on the boat. But before they meet, just to give you a little taste of what's going on and who Nicky Ferrenti is, we have a clip here. It's a short clip, Ronnie, so we're going to show it because it's the shortest clip I've got. It's the lost cigarette case, and let's take a look at this. This is the girl he just left in Europe to go to America.
Signor Ferrante? No. Signor Ferrante? Is he on board? Signor Ferrante? Signor Ferrante? Signor Ferrante? Signor Ferrante?
Boy, here I am.
Are you Signor Ferrante? I have a telephone call for you from Paris.
Mr. Ferrante, would you autograph this?
That's very kind. I want it on the telephone. Thank you. Hello? Yes, this is Ferrante. Who's calling? Oh, put her on.
You beast. Hello, Gabriella. Don't you talk to me.
Don't talk? Well, then why did you call me?
How could you speak of love to me? Say the things you did. And you about to be married. Do you remember what you whispered when I gave you the cigarette case?
Well, of course, dear. I said, hello, can you hear me, Gabriella? I believe we're disconnected.
We are not disconnected.
Operator. Oh, this is a shame. Operator.
Hypocrite. I have in my hand a knife. And I wish it were in your back. Menteur. Lâche. Dégoûtant. Tu n'as pas...
Okay, so now I get to throw it to the next scene where Nicky is going to meet up with Terry because she has something that he actually is very much looking for after that phone call.
I beg your pardon. I think you have my cigarette case.
I might as well confess, I am a jewel thief.
I don't believe it.
I was returning it to the purser. I found it in the... No. Just a moment. How do I know it's yours?
Well, well, there's an inscription to me on the inside.
Oh. To Niccolo. Oh, don't tell me you're the famous... Oh, I have read so much about you in Life and Look and...
Possibly Good Housekeeping. Now, may I have my case?
No. Just a moment. This is frightfully intimate. I know just enough French to be embarrassed. Could you, refine it a little and tell me in effect what it says?
Well, in effect, it says, in memory of 3 unforgettable nights aboard La Gabriella, which is her yacht.
I guess that's you, all right.
Tell me, did you write the song I'll Never Smile Again?
No. But I'm thinking of writing one called Moon Over La Gabriela. Do you think it will ever take the place of night baseball?
Please wait. I'm in trouble, serious trouble.
Well, I could have told you. Playing around yachts, the poor thing.
I must talk with someone.
Well, I'm not very good at that sort of thing. I talk a lot, and I try to break myself of the habit,
Oh, but you have such an honest face.
I have.
I can trust you, can't I?
Yes, I suppose so.
Good, come with me.
Yes, but the captain has an honest face, too. Why can't you tell him your trouble?
Shall we go to your cabin or to mine?
No, mine.
Well, mine is just around the
Mine
corner.
was here. It's not that I'm prudish, but my mother told me never to enter a man's room in months ending in R.
She did. Oh, well, your mother's not only beautiful, she's clever, too. What is your name?
Terry McKay. Terry McKay, and I'm traveling alone. Was that by any chance what was troubling you?
Yes. May I?
You may. Thank you. I think you can leave it here.
Oh, you know, this couldn't be nicer. Oh, you saved my life. I was bored to death. I hadn't seen one attractive woman on the ship since we left. Now, isn't that terrible? I was alarmed. I said to myself, don't beautiful women travel anymore? And then I saw you. And I was saved. I hope.
Tell me, have you been getting results with a line like that? Or would I be surprised?
If you were surprised, I'd be surprised.
Well, that sounds like a nasty crack. Well, I could make a few, too, if I
Oh,
wanted
I'm sure
to.
you could.
Oh, I know I can.
That's what I said.
All right, I think I will.
I'm listening.
Does your fiancée know the lady of the yacht, Gabriella? Hmm?
That's certainly. She's her best friend.
Chummy little group.
You know, this ship is going much too fast. We ought to take advantage of every moment. Don't you think that life should be gay and bright and bubbly like champagne?
I like pink champagne.
Yes, that's the kind I mean, pink champagne. Now, is there any reason why from now on this trip shouldn't be pink champagne?
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, dear. He wouldn't like it.
No.
Husband?
No.
He still wouldn't like it.
No.
Well, why isn't he traveling with you?
Well, because he had to go to Texas on a big merger.
Ah, yeah.
He thought it'd be a good idea if I took a little trip while he consummated this big deal. Because I have no head for business.
Mm.
It's beyond me how the more money a corporation loses, the more money it makes. Because of the carryovers with the write-offs.
Oh, yes, yes.
The big secret seems to be to merge a sick corporation with a big, fat, healthy one, and then everybody gets well.
Silly, isn't it?
He doesn't think I'm dumb, but he doesn't think I'm very bright about things like that.
Oh, well, it isn't necessary, is it?
Thank you.
Oh, that's all right. Well, so he trusts you.
Implicitly.
No mistakes, no errors, no tiny
5
little slips.
faithful years.
Ah,
Sounds awful, doesn't it? But it's true.
yes. Well, there you are. Cigarette?
No, thank you.
Oh, I don't...
You could light it from that inscription, couldn't you?
I like that. Oh, I must stay tuned into you. Yeah. Oh, he's a very lucky fellow. Must be a remarkable man.
Well, you can imagine how attractive he is when I can resist so charming a person as
Yes. Yes, well, I understand. Well, it was nice, wasn't it? Oh, well. Well, there's still deck tennis, shuffleboard, bingo.
Don't tell me you're embarrassed.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Oh, I am
Oh,
sorry.
that's all right. Don't apologize.
Oh, I do hope it won't affect your ego because for
no,
a
no,
minute...
please don't think anything of it. I'll just take my ego for a walk. Unless, of course, you care to...
Have dinner with you? I'd love to.
All right. Thank you. Really, really nice. Now, so that he meets Terry on the boat, obviously. And, they want to hide from everybody that they're seeing each other because, he's very well known and it wouldn't be good if he's seen with her and then, she's living with a guy and is going to be married, so it wouldn't be good. So they're trying to hide it from each other and, from everybody on the boat. But everybody on the boat is kind of noticing they're spending time together. But, she's not exactly buying into playing around with him that much. And then he invites her to go see his grandmother, which she doesn't, but when they go to port I think they're in the south of France. I'm not sure where they are. It looks like Greece, but I think it's to the south of France. But so they stop in port and he says, do you want to go with me? I'm having a date with a lady. It's my grandmother. She said, yeah, right. He says, you want to meet her? She said, okay. And she didn't believe it. But he really went to see his grandmother. And then when they visited the grandmother, it was a real bonding experience for them. And then she kind of started to fall in love with him. And she loved the grandmother. And, that's where she sits down at the piano and plays An Affair to Remember, which, by the way, it did win an Academy Award for Best Original Song. That's one of the few Academy Awards that this one won. Surprisingly. But, and I was going to show that clip, but that whole scene with the grandmother is like 15 minutes. And then we cut it down to the last 6 minutes where she plays the piano. We just don't have time. And then she sings An Affair to Remember. She sings it in French. And the voice on it is Marnie Nixon. Marnie Nixon was the queen of dubbing voices. Beautiful voice. Of course, we know she dubbed Natalie Wood in West Side Story. Of course, she dubbed, Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady. And she had even dubbed Deborah Carr in a movie before this. So we're not going to see that. So then after they visit with the grandmother, they kind of fall in love. And then, they bond and they're headed back to New York. They're headed to New York. And I think we have to show this.
Yeah, I think they hatched the plan on what, how they're going to be received and what they're going to do and kind of fake it and then they're going to try to reconnect a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Ronnie, before we go to the plan, I wonder if we go to the clip An Affair to Remember, I've got it here as 6:37. We're not going to watch the whole thing. Can you start it like in about the middle, just so we could get a flavor of the music? Because it won an Academy Award. Right where she's about to play. Yeah, that right there is pretty good.
Okay.
Good. All right, check this out. I just wanted to give a little flavor of that particular song. She was singing it in French. An Affair to Remember won the Academy Award for Best Original Song that year. So we were going to skip over the entire clip, but just to get a little bit of the song.
That was good. That was really good.
All right. But now they're back on the boat. They realize they love each other. And I think it really hits home with Nicky that he really doesn't want to marry the woman with $600 million. He loves this woman. And, of course, she's with a guy who's also very rich. And they're kind of joking a little bit about how are they going to get by because they have no money. But he has a talent for painting, and he says, well, I'm going to paint and try and sell my paintings.
Yeah.
But all right, here it is. Let's check this out.
Hello. Let's get some air.
Yeah, come on, I'll show you the rudder.
Well, where is it?
Aft.
Gotta get my coat.
Sometimes try to lure me.
Dum dum da dum dum da dum da dum. Can't you think of something spiteful? Something mean that you could do?
Must you be so darn delightful? You make it easy to be true.
Oh, why can't we go on doing this forever?
I had a talk with the captain. It won't work.
It won't?
No. He said he can't turn the ship around. Quite nice about it, but he said that most of the people want to get home. Isn't that silly?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can understand his problem. Cruising around in the ocean with just the two of us.
You make it easy to be true.
If you say a penny for your thoughts, I'll jump overboard.
Well, tomorrow morning, New York.
Yes?
Will he be waiting?
Will she?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
What makes life so difficult?
People? Are you in love with him?
I'm not now.
You know, I've never done a day's work in my whole life. In my whole life, I've
I
never
know. I've been thinking about that. What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did.
What?
You said I was very fond of expensive things. Furs and diamonds and stuff like that.
Did I say that?
Mm-hmm. Pink champagne. It's the kind of life we've both been used to. It might be a little difficult to... Do you like beer?
Mm-hmm. Different?
Mm-hmm. My father drank beer in the morning.
He was a beer drinker.
Mm-hmm. Later in the day, he drank anything. Oh, winter must be cold for those with no warm memories. We've already missed the spring.
Yes. Well, this is probably my last chance.
Mine, too.
It's now or never.
Oh, never is a frightening word.
We'd be fools to let happiness pass us by.
Mm-hmm. And just because you
I
haven't...
haven't worked doesn't mean to say I couldn't. Well, of course not. Suppose I, well, you know, it takes some time, say 6 months, to find out if...
If what?
Well, just suppose.
Now, be realistic.
All right. If I worked hard enough and long enough, say, for 6 months, where would you be?
What are you trying to say, Nicky?
Well, I just want to be worthy of asking you to marry me.
Nicky, that's just about the nicest... Your voice cracked.
Oh, well, that's because
Yes, I know. I'm going to turn in now. Do some more rolling and tossing and thinking about it. Let me tell you in the morning,
It's going to be a long night.
Mm-hmm. For me, too. Marriage is a very serious step for a girl like me.
Yes, I know.
Do you like children?
Yes, I do.
Nicky,
Oh, I was so worried that
I didn't even have time to get dressed. I didn't get to sleep until 5.
I didn't sleep at all.
Oh, now listen carefully.
Yes.
If everything goes right, and I mean for both of us, in 6 months, here, I started to write it out.
Should I read it now? All right. Darling, that's me? You have a date, my beloved, July the 1st at 5 o'clock. But you don't say where.
Will you name the place and I'll obey?
I don't know. I can't think. How about the top of the Empire State Building?
Oh, yes, that's perfect. It's the nearest thing to heaven we have in New York.
The 102nd floor. And don't forget to take the elevator.
No, I won't. Darling, if things don't work out...
Don't talk like that. I'm not listening.
But just in case one of us is...
We'll both be there. Hold the thought.
Hold the thought. Take care.
Take care.
So there's the plan. They're going to meet in 6 months on July 1st at 5 p.m. on the Empire State Building way up high. And there's so much more we can show you. You know, the next scene where the boat pulls into dock and they have
Their people.
They have their people there, and they're kind of like looking at each other like, hey, looks okay, you know. If they're checking out each other's, you know, spouses, so to speak, significant others. It's a cute scene. We're not going to have time to do that. And then, of course, you know, the very important date, you know, there's a lot happens too, because he's got to kind of break away from her, from the, you know, from the millionaire, and she has to break away from him. And he goes on to paint. She goes back to Boston and starts singing again, you know. And then 6 months later, when they go to meet, he's up on the 102nd floor, you know, waiting for her, and she's running to get there. And I guess she was looking up, and she got hit by a car, and she got crippled. She never made it. He didn't know what happened to her. He figured she just didn't want to show up, and so it was kind of a tragedy that they did not hook up. But then, I guess close to a year, 6 months later, when it's Christmas time, you know, Nikki was very depressed that she didn't come and meet him. So he took a trip back over to France on another yacht, cross the ocean cruise, and his grandmother had passed away. And when she was there the first time and she met the grandmother, she liked the shawl, and the grandmother had said, someday I'll give it to you, and the instructions were left for Nikki that this is for you, and she wanted Terry to have it. So Nikki ends up bringing it over to her during Christmas, and he had bumped into her just recently before that at a play.
That's right.
And at that play, this is, you know, many months after she, you know, didn't show up because she got hit by an accident. And, he, you know, the old billionaire, the old, you know, fiance was trying to get him back. So she said, Nikki, let's go to a play and don't make plans for afterwards. And as they're walking out, there was Terry with her guy that she really didn't want to marry, but the rich guy was taking care of her, and they were seated because she's crippled. And she could say was hi. And he thought that was strange. He didn't know what was wrong. And he thought, you know, what a horrible person. What a cold person after everything we had She just says hi, but she didn't want to go with him because she was crippled and she didn't want to burden him with that. So anyway, it was Christmas. He wanted to deliver that shawl to her for Christmas, and he goes over to her house. It's a long one, but this is really one of the all-time classic love scenes of all time. And before we go to it, Ronnie, AFI, the American Film Institute, has voted An Affair to Remember as the number 5 ranked all-time romantic love stories. So number 5 all time. But the interesting thing is, it's number 5 all time, but yet it's of those 5, it's the only one where they end up together in the end.
Is that right?
Yeah. So in effect, it's the number 1 all-time love story where they end up together.
With a good ending.
Where they end up together.
That's awesome.
As far as romantic love stories. And one more thing we didn't really talk about, and I meant to talk about it earlier, so let me just take a second here too. One of the interesting things about this movie is how the script with the tragedy that's in there and everything really mirrored the lives of Cary Grant and Deborah Carr. They were both going through a lot of personal disappointment in their lives with their love lives. And with Cary Grant in particular, everybody knew. The movie he had made previously to this, right before this, was The Pride and the Passion. Now, have you ever seen The Pride and the Passion?
Nope.
Well, it's great. It's great. Frank Sinatra plays like a Mexican rebel. He's incredible. And, of course, on that movie, Cary Grant plays a British officer, and you have Sophia Loren. And Sophia Loren is really Frank Sinatra's girlfriend.
Right.
But Cary Grant falls in love with her. She falls in love with him. And in real life, he was absolutely head over heels in love with Sophia Loren. And he proposed marriage to Sophia Loren.
I didn't know that. You know so much.
He wanted her like crazy. And, she turned him down.
Right.
She was in love with the producer in real life.
Mm.
And so he was totally rejected. He was absolutely devastated by Sophia Loren. He tried everything. And everybody knew about his heartbreak that she would not have him. And then he had to make this
movie. Interesting.
And so he played this movie,
Played it well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's the final scene of it. Check it out.
Oh, you save a drumstick for me for later, will you?
All right, I will. And if there's anything else you want, just holler.
Thank you so much, I will. It was very sweet of you. Merry Christmas.
And a Merry Christmas to you, too.
This Miss McKay.
Nicky.
Hello, Terry.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you, too. You feeling all right?
Yes. I'm fine. I'm just resting.
Good.
Well, it's been a long time.
Yes, hasn't it?
Well, it is good to see you.
You said that. May I,
Oh, yes, please do. Sit down.
Oh, it'll only be a minute. I'm sure you don't mind.
No, of course not.
Oh, is this the breathtaking view?
Well, the altitude bothered me.
Yeah. Well, I'll bet you're wondering how I got here.
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, I was looking through a telephone book for a man named McBride, and I came across the name T. McKay. And I said to myself, oh, no, could that possibly be Terry McKay, my old friend?
And it was.
Yes. And then I said to myself, well, now, I haven't been very nice to Miss McKay. After all, I had an appointment with her one day, and I didn't keep it.
You didn't keep...
No. Oh. So I said to myself, I talk to myself quite a lot these days. I said, well, that's not a very nice way to treat an old friend like Miss McKay. I must apologize to Miss McKay. Because don't you agree when someone doesn't keep an appointment, they should apologize? Hmm?
Yes. Oh, yes, I think you're absolutely right. I think the least people could do is to say they're sorry or something.
So here I am.
That's very sweet.
I thought so.
I've often wondered about you and how you were.
Did you really?
Yes, really.
Well, I've often thought about you, too. Then you weren't angry because I wasn't there. I mean, you must have been at first.
Well, yes, I was. At first, I was furious. I said, he can't do this to me. Who does he think he is?
How long did you wait? I mean, did you wait long?
Well, yes. Yes, I waited until about...
Midnight.
Oh.
And then what did you do?
Well, then I got really mad. Well, you can imagine, standing up there on the...
Yes, in a thunderstorm.
In a thunderstorm.
Then what did you say to yourself?
Well, then I said, oh, go on home and get tight.
But you didn't do that.
Didn't I?
No. Well, maybe just a little one. Every hour for about a month.
Can you blame me?
Oh, I should say not. The least I could have done was to have sent you a note.
Well, perhaps by the time you thought of it, you didn't know where to reach me.
But you swore that if you ever saw me again, you'd ask.
No. I remember we said that if we could make it, we'd be there. And if one of us didn't show up, it would be for a darn good reason.
Did we say that?
Yes, that is exactly what we said.
Well, like what, for instance?
So, there'll be no more questions asked. I hope. Would you like a cigarette?
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicky.
Isn't that wonderful? I walked all the way here just to... And now I'm not even supposed to ask you why you weren't there. Isn't it strange? We used to read each other's thoughts. It's not the same, is it?
Not quite.
It doesn't seem...
I know.
I don't know what happens to me whenever I... No wedding ring, I say.
No.
Well, I thought at
Last night, the show. No. He was just... No.
I didn't mean to offend you.
How's everything with you, Nicky?
Oh, you can ask questions. Well, I thought everything was fine until I saw you last night. Then I knew there must be something between us, even if it's only a notion. So I bought myself a ticket.
Oh, you sailing?
Tonight. And you're happy, aren't you?
Yes. And you?
I don't know. I'm worried about the future. I don't know what people will think. They'll say, there he goes, the mad painter. There's something the matter with him. He doesn't like women.
Why would people say that?
Why? Well, because he sails the 7 seas, and to every woman he meets, he says, where will you be in 6 months?
And they're there?
Everywhere. Tops of pyramids, the domes of cathedrals, the Eiffel Tower. He still tries to keep them up high.
He keeps them waiting.
Sure, waiting.
And where is he all this time?
Waiting.
But you can't go on like that. It isn't right for you. I wish I could say you were wrong.
I was once. How'd you like to change the subject?
Yes, I'd love to. Merry Christmas.
Oh, I almost forgot. Now, 6 months ago, who'd have thought we'd be spending Christmas together in front of a nice warm fire? I brought you a present.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I don't have one for you. I didn't think I'd be seeing you.
That's all right. I didn't expect one. That isn't really a Christmas present.
Oh, that's why my letters came back.
I would have sent it to you, but I didn't know your address until today. She wanted you to have it, remember? So, well, that's the reason I... Goodbye, Terry.
Goodbye, Nicky.
You know, I painted you like that with the shawl. I wish you could have seen it. Courbet said it was one of my best. I didn't think I could ever part with it. But, well, there was no reason to keep it any longer, and I couldn't take money for it because, well, you know. So, Courbet told me a young woman came into the gallery, and she liked it. She saw in it what I hoped you'd see, so I told Courbet to give it to her. Because he said she didn't have any money, and not only that, she was... Anyway, I told him to give it to her. Courbet said she wanted it so badly, and so I told him to give it to her. You know, it's the Christmas season and all that, and you know me, holly in my heart.
Darling, don't look at me like that.
Why didn't you tell me? If it had to happen to one of us, why did it have to be you?
Oh. It was nobody's fault but my own. I was looking up. It was the nearest thing to heaven. You were there. Oh, darling, don't worry, darling. If you can paint, I can walk. Anything can happen, don't you think?
Yes, darling, yes.
Well, you know, in in Sleepless in Seattle, they have that other scene at the end where Tom Hanks goes, "That's a chicks movie," you know.
I know, I'm kind of
and Wilson starts crying. And she's crying hysterically.
Oh.
Anyway, great flick, great
movie.
movie. Thank you for suggesting it.
I'm so happy I did, and thanks for playing it while
Well,
I'm here.
thank you for suggesting it. We didn't show
fun.
all the clips, but
Well, that's
you
just
can't show the whole movie.
We need a rainy day, and you go get the movie, and you watch it and draw the shades.
Listen, Here's the actual DVD cover right here, but I think these things are like $12.
Yeah, they're not.
It's amazing. People, they want to rent. I just like buying them.
I know, you might as well just buy
to
them.
have
You
'em.
rent them and you forget to return them, and then you might as well just buy them.
But it's nice to have in your collection, But listen, we're getting near the end of the show. Anybody out there? We still have a viewing audience right now, so anybody out there want to get a quick call in to Heidi before we get off the air? Call that 310 number on the screen right below the player there, and you can still talk to Heidi before we go. We covered her isogenics business.
Our isogenics program.
Because I'm trying to lose weight, and if you just tuned in, I have laryngitis. I'm not sick. I'm fine, but I can't really talk too well tonight. But Heidi's going to help me lose weight. I've lost 7 pounds on the first 2 days already, and
doing great.
I only have to lose another 75 more.
You think you have to lose way more
I'm
than you
getting
have
down.
to.
I want to get on the other side of 200 one more time in my
The
life.
important thing is you get to a point where you feel healthy.
I'm not there yet.
You're not.
I'm
No,
not
you
there
will
yet.
be. You will be.
But anyway, so that was fun talking about that. Then we talked about your adventure.
The fishing, yeah.
2 jigs and a rod.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
We had your sister call in.
Yep.
We had Autumn Stamson a little bit earlier. And now we just did a classic film zone. We were featuring, of course, An Affair to Remember. And as you're probably not aware, Heidi, what we do here on Chillin' with Larry Megan, we end every show with a segment where I have to have a little bit of Judy Garland in there.
Right.
Okay?
It's a good thing. Good thing.
Judy's my favorite. And, this segment is all about, never giving up, always to keep chasing those rainbows. So, Ronnie, let's go to it.
Love it.
Over the rainbow, way up high.
Okay, once again, in reflecting on Judy Garland, her career and everything, it's really not about, what was her best movie or her career is really about moments in film or television. In every movie she did, there's always 1 or 2 or maybe 3 great moments, Judy moments. And that's what we celebrate here. And I always find those moments to be inspirational because when Judy was acting and singing and doing those things, that's when she was at her peace because we all know she lived a very troubled life, with her addiction to pills and everything. And they worked her to death at a young age. But when she was on the set and doing her thing, that's when she was at home and at peace. And I find those to be inspirational. Now, tonight, in trying to pick a Judy song, we haven't really gone back to Judy and Mickey in a while now. Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney. Now, are you familiar with that?
Of course.
No? You're a baby.
No, I'm just not as tuned in as I should be.
Well, let me tell you, in the late 30s and early 40s, of course, Judy Garland did Wizard of Oz in 1939.
I know that.
But you go back to 1937 with, Love Finds Andy Hardy with Mickey and Judy. You go back to Thoroughbreds Don't Cry, 1936, I believe it was, Mickey and Judy. But Mickey Rooney was probably the biggest star in America. I mean, maybe bigger than Clark Gable. I mean, that's how big he was. And they were 2 child actors, and Mickey was 2 years older, and he kind of took Judy under his wing. But they both grew up being on stage from the time they were like 2 or 3 years old. Okay,
A lot in common.
In vaudeville and back in the day of the 20s, before talking pictures. Excuse me. Well, in 1940, which was literally 1 year after The Wizard of Oz, the third of what they called the backyard musicals, and they were produced by MGM, and Busby Berkeley was the director. They called them the backyard musicals. There were 4 of them. The backyard musicals because pretty much the plot was always the same. I mean, they changed up the details, but it was always about Mickey Rooney would be, let's put on a show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they would put on a show in the backyard, and they save the day and raise the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the third of those was called Strike Up the Band. And Judy and Mickey played a couple of high school students.
Mhm.
And they were going to prepare their band to go into this national competition. Well, anyway, the theme song of the movie was Our Love Affair. And since you chose, An Affair to Remember, which was a remake of Love Affair, I thought, how about Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney doing Our Love Affair from Strike Up the Band in 1940.
Perfect.
Check it out.
You know, Mary, I misjudged that man. Heart, that's what he's got, a lot of heart.
Here, I'll help you.
Now, something's been troubling me lately.
What?
Well, do you think Our Love Affair has enough punch in it? Our Love Affair.
Oh, well, now that you mention it, Jimmy...
Because I got a new arrangement on it.
Oh.
Oh, it's a dynamite love song. Just made to order for you. I'll play it. Wait till you get a load of this intro. I got some chords that are really out of this world. Listen. Starts off a little flary. Are you listening to me? And it softens down here. It's violins, and the orchestra sneaks back in for the vocal. Our love affair will be such fun. We'll be the envy of everyone. Those famous lovers will make them forget. From Adam and Eve to Scarlet and Red, with flutes and oboes, when youth has had its merry flame, we'll spend our evenings remembering two happy people who say on the square with fiddles, isn't ours a lovely love affair? Come on, sit down. Try it.
Jimmy, are you sure you want me to sing with the band? You're not just...
Well, of course not. We need you, Mary. You're as important to me as the brass section.
That's pretty important.
Try the verse.
Here we are, two very bewildered people. Here we are, two babes that are lost in the wood. We're not quite certain what has happened to us. This lovely thing that's so marvelous. But right from here, the future looks awfully good. Our love affair was meant to be. It's me for you, dear, and you for me. We'll fuss, we'll quarrel, and tears start to brew. But after the tears, our love will smile through. I'm sure that I could never hide the thrill I get when you're by my side. And when we're older, we'll proudly declare, wasn't ours a lovely love affair? I'll learn to bake a chocolate cake,
The kind of cake Mother used to make.
You hungry?
Uh-huh.
Come on, let's go see if we can find some of that cake.
Swell.
I hope there's some left, if Daddy hasn't eaten it all up.
Okay. What do you think?
That was great. I learned so much.
You like that?
I had no idea. I didn't know Mickey Rooney was Mickey Rourke. See?
Yeah, that's
See what
okay.
I do? Was ever that young?
Yeah, well, right there, Mickey Rooney was 20 years old right there. Judy was 18. But, I mean, we've got movies with Mickey when he's a teenager. I mean, when he's much younger than that. But anyway, we hadn't done any Mickey and Judy stuff in a long time. You get into the Mickey and Judy years were fantastic. I think they did, I want to say 7 movies together.
Wow.
They did the 4 backyard musicals, and then they had, I think, 3 Andy Hardy movies. The Andy Hardy movies is those are like a series of 17. Mickey Rooney was Andy Hardy.
Oh, okay. So he was like the guy. He's like the character.
Yeah, a little troublemaker. And she always wanted him, and he didn't really, want her. Yeah, she was always frustrated. Well, listen, Heidi, it's been fabulous having you here. Any final words, final comments, whether it's about any of your stuff?
No, I mean, this was just so fun. It's just like a totally different world. One more thing I can like check off.
Yeah, well, you can take some video clips of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's just so fun to hang out with you and chill.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
Fun chilling with Larry.
Yeah. So now each week I'm going to have to give an update.
Yes. Okay. So we are gonna. Yeah. We'll give an update, and we'll.
I started at 282, and I'm down to 275.
Yeah, which is fantastic. You look great.
Well, come on. I started another 50
It's
pounds.
all good. It's all good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been
and
a pleasure.
Autumn and Heather and everyone else.
Your team. Your inner circle.
My team.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. That brings us to the close of another Chillin' with Larry Megan, another show in the can. And just remember, never give up. Keep following your dreams, keep pursuing your goals, and keep chasing those rainbows. Until next week, I'm Larry Megan. Peace, love, and all good things.
Chill with Larry Megan.